All right, instant reaction to the New York Knicks winning Game 5, beating the Indiana Pacers, going to Game 7. Look, I think it was funny because after Game 4, I made a video talking about Tyrese Haliburton and basically saying, like, is he a top 10 player in the league? How many players are you taking over Tyrese Haliburton right now? And essentially, I said there's the obvious ones: Giannis, Jokic, Luka, Jason Tatum. Those are kind of the obvious ones, and then you get to the ones where you're like, maybe. I think the old guard, Steph, LeBron, Kevin Durant, those guys are probably better, but there's an argument. And I said Jalen Brunson is kind of right there as an argument. Donovan Mitchell right there with an argument as to who is Haliburton kind of dealing with, because he had a perfect performance in Game 4. Well, Game 5, completely different story. Completely different story here in Game 5. He only has, 8 points? 8 points, 2 for 7 from the field. 4 of his 8 points from the line. Wasn't extremely aggressive today in tonight's game against the Knicks. And so he was a minus 23. He still didn't have any turnovers. But 8 points for Haliburton in a game that you don't want to give up, because now it's 3-2. You're going back to Indiana. I know that you've played well at home, but the Knicks have played better on the road this entire postseason. And now you have them in your building, and then you force it. If it is possible that they force a Game 7 and you end up in the Garden for a Game 7 for a trip to the NBA Finals, it's going to be a tough game to win. So I thought Indiana just kind of was flat from the beginning of the game, and give credit to the Knicks. I don't think that this is anything against necessarily the Pacers. I think just the Knicks played better the entire game. Jalen Brunson had 14 first-quarter points with 5 from 9 from the field, really set the tone. And what the Knicks did well that I thought that the Timberwolves did not do in their series against the Thunder is they didn't just roll over. It seemed like the Timberwolves just kind of rolled over in their series against the Oklahoma City Thunder, and I said that in the Game 4 reaction. It just seemed like Anthony Edwards and that team was just kind of like, yeah, we can't compete with them, so we're just going to kind of not give a ton of effort. So that's not what the Knicks did. The Knicks came out with a ton of intensity, a lot of pressure. Defensively today, they were incredible, holding the Pacers under 100 points in tonight's game. And so you're looking at this Knicks team, and they at least showed some fight, and that's what you like to see. I do want to go back to Tyrese Haliburton for a moment, because they subbed him off about 2.5 minutes left in the game, and that was kind of the Pacers just waving the white flag and focusing on the next one. But talking about him being in the top 10, I got a lot of comments about Jalen Brunson's not better than Haliburton. Well, tonight Brunson was significantly better, and that's what these series do. One game, one player has a great game, and the other, doesn't. But tonight, Jalen Brunson finishes with 32 points, 12 for 18 from the field. An incredible shooting performance. He only got to the free throw line 4 times, 4 for 4 from the free throw line. But 32 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds for Jalen Brunson, and we're headed to a Game 6. And I think the Knicks defensively were really good. They were swarming this Indiana Pacers team, and I thought that the Pacers just kind of looked out of sorts. One thing I wrote down is that in the third quarter, just in the third quarter alone, Mitchell Robinson's defense was incredible. He had like 2 blocks, a steal, all within like a minute or two of each other. It was honestly quite miraculous and awesome. But the Knicks showed heart, and I think that's kind of the key to this. They didn't roll over like the Timberwolves did, and here we are now looking at Game 6, and this series just got tight. I'm telling you, the Pacers, they better come out in Game 6 on Saturday. They better come ready, because if they are flat out the gate, I think the Knicks are going to see blood. I really do, and I think that this series is not over. But tonight, it was just the Knicks night. Karl-Anthony Towns, 24 points, 13 rebounds. Him and Brunson, this is actually interesting. They said this on the broadcast. This is interesting. Brunson and Towns are the first duo since Shaq and Kobe where both teammates got 20 points in the first 5 games of the conference finals. So that's pretty good company if you're Karl-Anthony Towns, who's been really good this postseason. Karl-Anthony Towns has been great, and so has Brunson. But tonight, it was just the Knicks playing extremely well defensively. Jalen Brunson coming out firing 14 points in the first quarter, 5 for 9 from the field. And here we are, Game 6 in Indiana coming up on Saturday. All right, be sure to subscribe for more reaction videos, more thoughts on that. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, and we'll see if we can maybe do a Game 6 reaction on Saturday. Peace.